Welcome back to the Back Big Pack Corner. And here we are with the Daler's Wake. And it might go something like this. I know right around the countryside was the Daler Bob McBride. His genial temperamented one of friends wherever that he went. At every market, show and fair, I Bob the Daler would be there, and ready with his friendly palm to grip a neighbour by the hand. He was a man of many parts, indulged in all the sports and arts, fought gamecocks by the mill and ran his own wee private still. And he proved his worth at coursing, his hounds the pride of all the north, and his McGrath at Cloneless town had won him fame, reward and much renown. Yeah, had won him fame, reward and much renown. Well, at plough and matches Bob was there, yeah, to guide his only chestnut pair. Obedient to the skill of hand, yeah, the best torn out in all the land. And even in the realms of art, Bob seldom failed to play his part. Yeah, recited poems was short and long, yeah, and could sing a good Ulster song. Well, folks would oft stand entranced as on the fiddle his digits danced. His merry notes most loud and clear would be enchantment to the ear, and his drone and pipes would scowl to make the happy dancers roll as they tipped their toes and heels to some hilarious jigger reel. Well, at every schoolhouse, barn or wake, home weddings and church fetes, you'd find the Daler at his best with subtle wit and hearty jest. And like some eternally for fire, you'd never see him drop or tire. What else he had you'd never tell, for he kept his sorrows to himself. I'll imagine then with what dismay the neighbours learnt yon youthful day. Bob had crossed the golden shore, yeah, lass had never see him more. All round the place, both far and near, dropped many a silent tear. Ah, the blow was hard and plainly felt for a faithful trusted friend. Yeah, the blow was hard and plainly felt for their faithful trusted friend. Well, through the gloom his widow said she would howl awake so big and send as was ever held in the townland to fulfil Bob's very last command. For he'd ordained that when he died, folks would come from far and wide, yeah, to eat and drink and merry be, and indulge in games and jollity. Well, to ensure the wake's success, Bob had provided more or less that every man and every woman there could eat and drink with some to spare. But tins of snuff were stored away with pipes of the finest Kerry clay, yeah, tobacco plugs both flake and twist, black as boot and thick as wrist. Yeah, tobacco plugs, black as a boot and thick as wrist. Well, drink had been a special care, yeah, his guiding motto, drink to spare. A sweet mountain dew for to fulfil, a barrel from his own still, and neighbours flocked from far and wide to cheer the widow Bob McBride. Yeah, they came by bike and car and cart in scores to Bob the dealer's wick. While with due regard and grace, they stood in groups about the place and talked in tones subdued and brief, and made new friends through their grief. Soon the kitchen floor was packed by neighbours out to the door, and there amongst the multitude Bob's coffin on the table stood. Yeah, and there among the multitude Bob's coffin on the table stood. Well, then and there at his request, Bob was dressed in his Sunday best, and beside him for immediate use was a bottle of the devil's juice. So by the table blessing him, each truthy neighbour took a stand, male and female, young and old, yeah, they drank to Bob's departed soul. Yeah, they drank to Bob's departed soul. Well, with the wake well on its way, unbridled tongues began to play, and the neighbours still kept pouring in to add confusion to the din. But by and by they settled down as cups of tea were handed round, and all agreed with praises due that the widow made a special brew. Yeah, that the widow made a splendid brew. While as all stood round and joked, supped the tea and snuffed and smoked, a cunning hand had been at play as it dropped some jelly in the tea, and very soon some half a score did anxious make out for the door, but soon discovered to their cost that he who hesitates is lost. Well, as every man and woman there was wandering through the midnight air, except the sturdy and the tough, whose guts were made of sterner stuff. By and bys and twos and threes, with guilty looks and wobbly knees, they straggled back and tried to hide what they'd seen and done outside. Grunts and groans were just excuses, so yet again the devil's juice was ladled round by a liberal hand, yeah, a wee bit less for every man. And the women, not to be outdone, held out their glasses just for fun, yeah, snipping and sniffing in the end, they were drinking quicker than the men. Well, they danced and cooked and raved, and the more they drank, the more they craved. And when the fun was at its height, out went the flickering kitchen light. Yeah, when the fun was at its height, out went the flickering kitchen light. Well, the Bible says that men love the dark, for it hides all that evil lurk. And when the light had been restored, alas, Bob's old body was no more. Some 2 or 3 with devilish wit had shifted him almighty quick, and dumped his carcass by the stair amongst the hapless craters there. Well, the craters drunk did take a chance, and coax old Bob to join a dance. The hoaxsters coaxed him through the door and stood him on the kitchen floor. Yeah, they coaxed him through the door and stood him on the kitchen floor. for just a minute a silence reigned, and then every face was drained. And with a frickin' curdling yell, the place became a seething hell. Well, the air got red with women's screams, and the lamp was smashed to smithereens, and the coffin toppled to the floor, was trampled in the fleeing fury. Yeah, the coffin was trampled in the fleeing fury. Well, women tried to get out the door, but strong men flung them to the floor. Beneath the table some had dived, Lord knows how anyone survived. They hurled vases off the shelf and smashed the widow's precious delf, and the clock went crashing through the floor, and it struck 18 maybe more. Well, they pulled the door right off its frame and smashed every single window pane, and mad afeard they took to heels through hedges, ditches, shocks and fields. And when all the noise and dust had cleared, drunks with Bob again appeared, and dragged him up the stair and laid him out with special care. Yeah, they dragged him up the stair and laid him out with special care. Well, as Bob lay still upon the bed, all dressed in his waking whites, they pitched their caps off to the dealer and said a long good night, and promised him that come what may, that they would surely meet again on some other future market day. Yeah, that they